What's up, guys? I know it's very late. I could not resist. I wanted to give my first impression tier list rating live of every episode of Andor. Just finished the finale arc last night. And yeah, wow. And first off, I just want to start off by saying it's known, and I've known to be said that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Andor, or at least wasn't for the first season. Hopeful for season. With that being said, I'm gonna rate every episode on this tier list rating. It's gonna be a short stream. I just kind of want to do it, and this could change, but and I probably will have to rewatch all of season 1 again at some point. But to be honest, I definitely, after watching the episodes last night, after the stream watched Rogue One. I really like how they kind of tied it all together at the end there. But without further ado, I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna do this. But all right, so the first couple episodes for me of Andor, man, it was brutal. At first, when they dropped 3 episodes in the first season at once, I thought that was a sign. Never a good sign to drop 3 episodes. But yeah, it was a little bit slower for me at the beginning. I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of a little bit slow. Like those first couple episodes really poor. How they finished that beginning arc was alright though. It was alright, but it is kind of like pretty slow. But yeah, this is my rating, by the way. The lowest we go is Andor to S as amazing. But then next we got the Aldani arc, and this is kind of where, if I was doing it, that's where I would have wanted to start. But anyhow, the first episode of Aldani, it was pretty good. I like the new location, especially involvement with the ISB and whatnot. Felt a little off at times, but it was all right. The setup was was all right for the next episode of the Aldani arc, but it was, I don't know, it just kind of slowed down for me a little bit. There were some good like Mon Mothma scenes in it, but it was just all right for me. But then you get to the mid-season finale of season 1, and this one was actually really good. I'm probably gonna have to go with great for the eye. It has one of the most stunning shots in Star Wars I've seen. It was a really fun time, and I feel like if that's how they started out Andor in general, like a 3-episode arc with the eye being that 3rd episode, that would have been great for me. But I think the back half of, like, once you get to the eye, the back half of season 1 is clearly better than the beginning, and we have less of the Andor, right? I guess I only have 1 in that category right now. But okay, so next up, the announcement. It's pretty good. Like, I think this is where Cassian gets arrested and sent to, like, at the end he gets sent to Arcana 5. I think there's like a lot of like politics and whatnot in it. All right. Then Arcana 5, I think we finally get to Arcana 5 and first introduced that. I think this is where it starts to get, like, momentum's really going there. And then I think the next episode, Nobody's Listening, when you start to see the sparks of that potential prison break, it's really good, captivating stuff. And then One Way Out, that's got to be the first S tier. Personally, like, that's, I mean that's probably everyone's. I'm not even the biggest Andor fan. It was it's a captivating watch, kind of through the whole thing. The sequence, really good. Then the season finishes all right. Daughter of Ferrix, was kind of sad, but it was good. What's up, Kirsten Allen? I couldn't resist doing this. This is such a late stream, but want to give my initial thoughts. And then Rick's Road, so the finale. Thought it was Good, great. Like it was pretty good for season one. The last couple episodes were definitely weaker. It peaked with episode 10, obviously. And now we can go to season 2, and I can talk a lot more about season 2. That's what everyone wants to hear, because I just saw it all. I mean, in 4 weeks we got 12 episodes. 3 weeks, really, because they drop it, and then 3 weeks later. I mean, we're done really quick, basically. Like, I think, right? But for me, actually, the first episode, how they started out with Andor season 2, a really good start for me. I actually really liked this first episode, and it felt the most like Star Wars. For me, one of Andor, at times, a lot of times, really didn't feel like I was watching Star Wars. And I think after watching season 2, I've started to get a little bit more, but you kind of have to come into it with a little bit of an open mind. There's still things I don't like, especially in season 1, and then still in season 2, elements, and I can talk more about it. But the first episode, I just like how it starts out in an unserious manner with, Cassian taking that tie, stealing it, and it's just a funny scene. And the rest of the episode's pretty good, though. I do like how it starts. So I'm gonna rate that one as great. The second episode of that arc for me is good too, but it would actually probably be okay if it wasn't for the Imperial stuff. Like seeing the Imperial, Dedra and Partagaz in it, talking with Krennic and this energy plan, which is clearly a segue into Death Star. That was the most captivating part for me. Some of the other things were a bit slow with it. I think Harvest ends out in a pretty good spot, though. And then I don't know. I kind of, that second episode, like, the only thing that's keeping it in for me, though, is that the Imperial stuff. It is a little bit weaker, but it does, like, the first arc is pretty good altogether. I did like that. And the next stuff is probably the slowest arc of season 2. I'm gonna be honest, my ratings are not very high. My actual numerical ratings. We're gonna go with okay for Ever Been to Gorman. The gore now, it's cool. But man, when I was first watching it, my first impression was, man, are they speaking French? Which they aren't. They made their own language, but there was just so many similarities that it was starting to take me out again. And then this next episode, I have friends everywhere is my lowest rated. It officially hits the Andor rating for me. Mostly from a standpoint of, man, they got like Imperial HoloNet news out there and televisions. I mean, it just feels like it just took me out of Star Wars too many times in that episode. But yeah, that was probably the low point for me for season 2. Oh yeah, also the reason why now actually the Sagrona team. Now I was like, what am I forgetting about Sagrona? Second episode is that whole first arc on Yavin, which with those like Lost Boys, was very iffy. Like, what were they even doing? Kind of a waste of time. So that's why I'd actually I'm gonna put it at the bottom of okay. And the only thing that keeps that in the okay is the ISB stuff. I do think though that I liked the 6th episode of mid-season. Now it wasn't as action-packed, which is fine, as season 1. But there was some good tension building with that party we had with Mon Mothma, Luthen, Leia, Lonnie, and Krennic. There's so many big characters in play there. It's definitely it's a good for me. And then yeah. Now after that, I mean, things just keep staying like good for Andor. Like, I mean, obviously the Gorman stuff is crazy. So we'll start with that. So the Messenger, the first of that third arc, is great. Gonna get a great. And Who Are You definitely gets an amazing. And it's probably it's higher than One Way Out for me personally. The strength of the series. What's up, Lucky? The strength of the series from start to end is stronger than the 7 seasons of Game of Thrones. Definitely a top 5 TV show of all time. Maybe top 3 best Star Wars content since Empire. Arguably the best ever. Yeah, I'm happy. There's a lot of people that feel that way. I think they did really put peak content. Like, there's episodes like this Who Are You episode can go toe to toe with any Game of Thrones episode. I agree with that. I personally don't think it start to finish is quite that high for me. But I can see where you're coming from. I think that this is I just like that there's it's built for an adult audience, but like it definitely has paved a path for Star Wars to have another genre of more serious, more adult, modernized in a way. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's just different too, though, because obviously it's for like there's a lot of stuff that's really dark. Like this certainly is not for kids, right? Which is fine too. It's different. A lot to process. Now, this is tough. I think my favorite episode of all of Andor was episode 9 of season 2, 21 overall. Welcome to the Rebellion. Mon Mothma giving her speech and Cassian Andor saving the day, breaking her out. That was just exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see, like, the show's called Andor. I want to see Andor doing missions. I want to see Rebellion, the Empire. It's like everything. There's tension throughout the entire episode. So back-to-back bangers there with episode 8 and 9. Those are my 2 highest rated ones, and then I literally just got out of watching the past 3. And yeah, it's tough. They're all kind of these ones were, there wasn't any really time jump, and they like the first couple episodes are kind of combined. It's just basically one kind of movie chopped in thirds, so it's hard to rate them, I guess, differently, but I think collectively they'd probably go into the great. I'm gonna put the first 2 in great. I'm just gonna put the last one in amazing, the one I just saw, more from a standpoint of like the last episode, how they tied everything together and those end of the series shots. Like, I am going as soon as I hit the end button on the stream, I'm gonna put on Rogue One and watch, because like I could even just tell, the how much care they put into making this feel collective, and I do hope that they put a screening with some of the best parts of Andor in these last bits to see it. But like as a movie with Rogue One, because I think it works so that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's just my initial first impressions rating of Andor. I'm definitely going to talk Andor more on streams, the bizbro show, or with Stay on Target. It's not my favorite thing ever, but they have some really good episodes, and you can't deny the quality itself of the show overall, of the writing, of the visuals, of the script. But at times a little bit slow for me, and can pull you out of Star Wars. But I think if you watch the show, don't go into it with your I guess going in with an open mind. But it's a different type of Star Wars, but it's a quality type. That's how I'd put it. I'm not gonna say it's like again, it just paved a way for a new section of Star Wars to be made, and that's something I got to give credit to Disney, is they've made a variety of Star Wars content. They've got Star Wars animation. They've got more fantasy driven shows like Ahsoka. The Mandalorian feels kind of just like what Star Wars used to feel like, and then you got these more series like Andor, and it's not for a lack of try. There really is shows for everyone. I just hope the quality and the budgeting. I think this should be a lesson though in general. I mean, Andor got $700 million, right? Like, some of these other shows get like 100 million or so. You can't really expect the same level of quality. So I think they've learned their lesson from that standpoint. They're not making as many shows, but the message is quality over quantity. And don't be afraid to try new things though too, because we can't just keep making prequels and talk about the Empire and the Skywalker saga forever though. it would be nice to see a new Star Wars story like Knights of the Old Republic or some other Old Republic or like 1,000 years. You're just in the Star Wars. Yeah. Accused Allen says, agreed on the last episode. My brother and I went straight to Rogue One right after. It was so cool to see K2 again. Yeah, I put it on, and I'm about to watch it again. I wish I could just put it on a live stream, watch it, but yeah, I'll get taken down. Yeah, these are just my initial ratings. First impressions of the season overall. I'd say I need to rewatch season 1, but there's some more boring parts in season 1 to me. What I will say about season 2 is, while both seasons they peak towards the, not the middle, but like the third out of the fourth, like episode 9 or 10, like 8, 9, 10 for both seasons are its best. Season 2 ends on a much higher note than one, I would say, and a much higher level of quality. It still peaked, episode 8, 9. It didn't fall off. It just kind of tapered a little bit. That's kind of what they needed, though, and the 3 episodes left. I mean, it really built up. Like the Gorman massacre really was kind of the build up from the entirety of the show. So kind of the fallout of that, we get to see the fate of so many different characters. I could talk forever on it, but I just wanted to make it quick, fun little stream, give my impressions. The fun part about it is they're my impressions, so I'm sure many of you disagree with me. Maybe some of you guys agree with me, but let me know in the comments, what's your favorite episode of Andor? You think they should all be amazing, or are you bored? You think Andor is boring? Anyhow, yeah. I think overall, though, I'm happy that Star Wars got a dub where, like, I would say the majority of fans are happy with the show. So that makes me happy, too. I'm happy people are enjoying Star Wars again. And I, again, finished season 1, was like, not the biggest fan, hopeful for season 2, and definitely exceeded my expectations for season 2, and maybe more of a fan overall for it. But so sad we won't have a live action Star Wars show until Ahsoka. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm excited that they're bringing the production, like the quantity down. Hopefully Ahsoka season 2 can be that much more quality, and maybe they learn from this too in the production process. We get one show maybe once a year, or once every 2 years. It's gonna be that much better. So we're gonna see next year and next May, a year from now, Peter's Mando and Grogu movie. So it's not that far off, but certainly going to be a lack of Star Wars content for a while. But they just dropped 4 movies, essentially, lots to rewatch. Tales of the Empire to still kind of divulge upon. Not Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Underworld. But yeah, I'm kind of just rambling. Felt like doing this. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And I am going to head out of here. Yeah. May the Force be with you. One way out. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.